Thank you, Colin. My name is Roland Sars. I'm the CEO of a company called Distillery. So, okay, Google, show me the latest on the Brexit. Well, Brexit might not be the most fun topic at this very moment, but at least it's very actual and very relevant these days here in the UK. But imagine asking this question to your tablet, to your smartphone, or to your TV. And instead of just a few websites, in return you could get back a series of broadcast quality videos. You could use your TV operator environment as a rich search engine to deeply search into millions of hours of video content for your favorite celebrity, topic, event, or person. Rich, high-quality content that is easy to find and easy to access, personalized and tailored to your taste. Well, could this be true in the near future? Today, TV operators are spending heavily in providing valuable content to their consumers. But however, still consumers' eyeballs are shifting to other platforms. And this is making sure that today it's not just a matter of having all content in one place, but making it accessible and personalized to nowadays consumer demands. Unfortunately, tools are emerging at the moment that can help TV operators in this area. Tools, innovative tools that can help to capture and keep viewer attention. Well, the quality of broadcast content is very high. It is very diverse, and the experience is immense. Therefore, the TV environment should be the place to be for content. And this is not just true for the big networks or for the flagship shows, but maybe particularly for local content in your native language, where you can watch local interviews, talk shows, news, sports, documentaries, and such like. However, TV content is evolving from a live broadcast environment to OTT delivery, where video can be consumed on demand. But still, it is mostly presented with a traditional EPG, just like it was back in the linear days, so to say. And this no longer makes sense to today's video customer. Consumers, they want convenience. And this also holds true for TV content. They want to watch content whenever they want, whenever it suits them, and they want to find content very easily. They quickly are loyal to personalized playlists or discovery lists, just like they're used to have in apps like Spotify or Netflix. And although some content will always be watched in live mode, particularly sports or the big live shows, the majority of programming viewer tastes are changing nowadays. And according to recent research done by Ericsson, about 70% of viewers, they prefer on-demand and catch-up services over linear content. And same research also shows that the traditional TV service provider is not providing them all they need anymore, at least much less than a few years ago. Another change in consumer behavior is the way that video is being consumed. Viewers have a much shorter attention span nowadays, and they would like to spend and watch video whenever they have a few minutes spare. Short yet relevant videos are more and more popular nowadays. And despite having a large amount of media available, TV operators and broadcasters have not been able to offer a user experience that is like YouTube, for example. Although that, well, over 50% of videos that are published nowadays are actually less than 2 minutes long, and there is a huge increase of TV viewership, of TV content on YouTube. Especially the younger generations, over 50% of them cannot find anything to watch at least once per day. And for this growing group of advanced users, the traditional EPG just doesn't help. The on-demand services have set the bar too high. TV operators are offering a lot of content nowadays, hundreds of TV channels, thousands of VOD assets, and maybe even hundreds of thousands of millions of hours available, video available for replay. But this is just turning into a content overload, which will result in people defaulting to just to the top channels, or even worse, moving to competing platforms where just a better user experience can be found. And searching, especially with a set-top box environment, searching with a remote control is very difficult and clunky. I have small children, and they like to watch Sesame Street, but when I start typing Sesame Street and I reach the second S of Sesame, I'm already so frustrated that I'm ready to throw the remote against the wall, and my children start asking me if there isn't any other platform where they can actually find that content. And another reason why people are shifting away from traditional TV environments is that they cannot find what they actually are looking for. Current search is based on existing metadata, which is being provided by companies like Graysnow, TiVo, and local metadata providers. And there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just too little and too few to provide actual good search results and good recommendations. It is created prior to broadcast. And collaborative filtering, which is mostly used with a lot of recommendation engines, doesn't really work either, because you have a continuous cold start problem. Well, and I'm not an expert on the Brexit, but what I do know is that it's certainly not a Hollywood love story. And this is a true screenshot, by the way, which I made last week of my home TV environment, searching for the Brexit. So some TV operators or broadcasters are already doing some work in this area. They're mainly cutting out manual clips or clips manually and putting them available for replay. However, this is quite expensive. People are expensive. People are also slow. If you want to process all the hours of videos that are currently available, it might take minutes or even hours. And imagining that most of the catch-up demands are actually being requested in the first few minutes or hours after the live broadcast, manual processing becomes more and more irrelevant if it takes longer. And certainly, coping with the amounts of content I just mentioned is not scalable if you do it manually. So TV operators are kind of in crossroads, I would say. On one hand, you don't want to lose money, you don't want to lose subscribers and people cutting the cord. But on the other hand, you want to make money, to generate additional revenue streams, additional subscribers, pay-per-view potentially, or new advertising opportunities. But I think that the future is bright. There are recent technology developments that can support operators in a way that providing kinds of experience that will satisfy consumers with a personalized, smooth, and friendly user interface. An interface that will help them to create products by which they can compete with other platforms and potentially even generate such additional revenue streams. And a voice assistant can be the first part of the puzzle, especially to get rid of the clunky remote control search interface. Voice is currently revolutionizing the way how we interact with devices, services, and also our TV. Smart speakers like the Google Home or Amazon Alexa are making themselves heard, are growing very fast. Actually, with a compound annual growth rate of 48%, smart speakers are the fastest growing technology product since the introduction of the smartphone. Currently, about 20%, which is 50 million households in the US, have a smart speaker in their home. And as comparison, it took about 13 years for 50 million US households to have a TV in their home. And to service more content, a conversational approach could start there. For example, pull results from your TV, asking what is the latest on the Brexit, or show me the latest interview with my favorite celebrity, or the latest speech of the Oscar winner. However, I think that voice control is nothing more than just a nice gimmick if it's not backed up by a truly advanced search engine. A search engine that really understands what video is about. Advanced search engine that can extract metadata in real time and that reads faces, speech, text, logos, all kinds of in-video aspects. And based on this, it can actually recognize topics and learn what kind of topics is relevant to a user. And this kind of relevant, enriched metadata can actually take a voice assistant to the next level and turn it into a natural way to conversate intuitively to find the content you're actually looking for. And next, because AI can actually understand what video truly is about, it can also find and cut clips and present them in a way of short clips that are available based on certain topics. Today, consumers, they hardly follow programs or channels anymore. They follow certain topics, certain people, and certain events. They don't know what topics are on which program and on which channel that program was aired, and certainly not on what day. But when short clips are available and presented nicely, you can just browse through them and it will pull them further into your platform and it will allow them to further watch more and more content and also longer content in the end. It will create a lot more engagement basically. And finally, last piece of the puzzle is new ways of doing recommendations. Not just the collaborative filtering, what I mentioned earlier, but clever recommendations based on taste clusters and personal profiles that are being generated by analyzing somebody's viewing habits. Just like Spotify's Daily Mix or the Discover Weekly, like you may be familiar with. Actually, last year on CES, YouTube's chief product officer mentioned that 70% of all viewing time on YouTube is being generated by recommendations. So imagine the commercial potential of creating a very sticky broadcast environment with these ways of search and recommendations. So in the end, when you combine a voice search that can lead to a conversational interface using voice control, an advanced search engine that really understands what is inside video, and a clever recommendation engine that is really basing its information on someone's personal taste. This can lead to a very easy to understand interface where you can have a conversation with basically relevant content that is personalized and presented in a way that consumers long for nowadays. Users will spend more time in your platform, in your operator service basically, consuming all the great content that is available there. Well, up to, I think, a decade ago, the TV used to be the center of attention in many households. And today, despite all the investments in quality content by operators, attention is being caught by other platforms, meaning losing subscribers and losing advertising opportunities. But as we're moving to the new science fiction of the home, where talking to devices is the new norm, it will be very interesting to see how consumers will start interacting with their TV in the next few years. And one thing is certain, because the experiences and tastes that we have gathered online will for sure need to be also encatered somewhere else in the environment. They need to be developed elsewhere. And that's where I think that voice control, together with a killer search feature, can return the TV environment as the place to be for content, which will attract and keep users and advertisers. Thank you very much.